Thanks, guys. Joining me is Jacob Hester, former LSU Tiger. And, boy, this was an interesting ball game in the sense that at halftime, a little nervousness. But the second half, LSU absolutely put it all together.
Yeah, that's how these games kind of go. Anytime in my career we played a school like this, it was always a battle in the first half. You played Louisiana Tech, you played UL. It was always a battle. You get their best shot, and then second half and you come. It's encouraging, though, to see the way they came out second half. Usually it still takes a little bit of series into the second half. No, they came out firing. They scored a lot of points. There was a lot of good in that football game in the second half. And we forget this is a bowl team. This is a team that played for the Conference USA Championship a year ago, so they're not just your average directional school.
It's interesting with Coach Orgeron doing the press conferences compared to Les Miles. A lot more candid, a lot more open. And he said he noticed some things on Friday and Saturday that concerned him, that maybe that they would come out a little bit lackluster, and they did. Which team is the true LSU team, in your opinion, the one in the first half or the second half?
I think the second half. I think that's the team you saw against Missouri. You have Ole Miss coming to town, at 8 o'clock kick. Obviously, Coach Orgeron's a little closer to Ole Miss than almost anybody else in this program, being the head coach there. He's going to be fired up. He's going to make sure the Tigers are ready to play. He's not going to let any of that Friday, Saturday stuff go in this week, I can promise you.
Interesting statistic right there brought up at the press conference. In the second half, all 5 LSU touchdowns were beyond 20 yards, and 3 of them were beyond 60 yards. That's the explosiveness that all fan bases love to see, and LSU's going to need if they're going to have success down the stretch.
Yeah, and this fan base more than anything's probably been clamoring for plays like that. And look, if you're going to play in Ole Miss, you're going to play in Alabama. Those teams can score fast, and they can score from anywhere on the field. So to see LSU be able to do that, it's really the one thing that Danny Etling was struggling with was the deep ball. We haven't seen him complete them. He completed a couple of Malachi Dupree to DJ Shark. And that is so good to see because that was the one part of his game that everybody's kind of waiting to see.
He had over 270 yards passing, 3 touchdowns through the air. What's your takeaway on Danny Etling, how he's progressed over the past few weeks?
I think it's been huge. I think he's made leaps and bounds of what he was when he first became the starter, kind of a game manager. Now he's making plays. Besides the one throw that he probably wants back there for the interception. Other than that, I thought he played a great game. He's still moving really well in the pocket. He's still making very good decisions. And like I said, the deep ball is there. That's something that we haven't seen yet. So if he can get that going, I think sky's the limit for Danny Etling.
Leonard Fournette questionable still for next week. The coaches are optimistic that he'll be able to play. But if he's not able to go, Darius Geis continues to impress. And talking with guys like yourself and others that know a little bit more about running back than I do, the jump cut and the acceleration from 0 to 100 is incredible for him.
We've talked about it. He's a top 5 back in this country, not just this conference. He has home run hitter ability, and a back that size usually doesn't have it like that. We're lucky to have a couple of those here at LSU. Just imagine if you can get Fournette and Darius Geis in the backfield at the same time against Ole Miss, it opens up so many more things in your offense. And so you got to find a way to get Leonard Fournette healthy, even if he doesn't practice until Thursday. Whatever that case is, you got to have Leonard Fournette and Geis both healthy to go against this stretch of games.
You're going to have a hungry Ole Miss team. They lose tonight to Arkansas. They had the lead late, gave it up down the stretch. Ole Miss, we know, is going to come up here. Probably the best offense LSU will have faced to this point in the season. What is the key, in your opinion, for next week?
Well, definitely the best quarterback that they've faced up to this point, and it's really going to test those LSU defensive backs who have really played lights out this entire year. This will be their first real challenge. This is real receivers with a real quarterback, a guy who's going to be an NFL-type player, and so that's going to be the key matchup. Can LSU's DB shut down Ole Miss's wide receivers, and will Chad Kelly have a big game, or will LSU hold him at bay? Because really LSU matches up pretty well with them.
Good news, LSU saw an offense today that spread the ball around and had a pretty good quarterback and a good plan, and they did obviously outstanding in the second half. LSU blanks Southern Miss 35-0 in the second half. Go on for a big win. He's Jacob Hester. I'm Ronnie Rantz. Let's go back to the Louisiana Cat Studios.